infatti non mi stupisco. Questa è la quarta seduta, 4 su 4.
No, io mi metto un po' di fidanzo, quindi se sono stato là mi metto qua, all'ultimo, se per te. Infatti io prendo.
Quando possiamo... Good morning.
Un saluto a tutti carissimi amici.
Meno male che non è partito.
Esatto.
No, ragazzi, ma che tutti uomini? La gender balance dove sta? Buongiorno? Buongiorno? Cioè, ragazzi, la gender balance
Non c'è.
Però sei al centro, sei una stella.
mai dire. Scusate, passavo classe.
Che cavolo.
No, fortunatamente diciamo, cioè, non l'hanno visto gli altri. Se per caso stava qualcuno dietro di
Sì, se no se uno riesce a essere talmente a buttarla da
No, non si, no. Valentino sono qua. Poi mi dici dopo. Good morning. Today we have a degree session, really international session. We have only one poor Italian student, Domenico. Where is Domenico? And we can start this session with Ali Mamashev, who presents a thesis with me as supervisor on how can innovation contribute to development of an eco-friendly tourism economy. Ali Mamashev is here.
Yeah, I'm here, Professor.
Okay.
Good morning.
I didn't see you. Just above.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to thank my supervisor, esteemed Professor Domenico De Vincenzo, and I want to thank the whole committee members. The thesis delves into various aspects of eco-friendly tourism, innovation, and their interconnectedness. It aims to provide a deep understanding of how innovations can contribute to the development of eco-friendly tourism economy. The thesis explores the importance of data, responsible practices, collaboration, and innovation in shaping a sustainable and prosperous future for the tourism industry. The tourism industry is a dynamic and resilient sector that contributes trillions of dollars to the global economy. It's shaped by technology, changing consumer behaviors, and growing commitment to ecological responsibility. Despite challenges such as financial crises and the COVID-19 pandemic, the industry continues to thrive. Harnessing the power of data and innovation is crucial for its sustainable development. The graph we see shows us international tourism arrivals since worldwide 1990. Ecotourism, a form of sustainable travel, occurs in natural areas, focusing on environmental preservation, education, and positive impacts on local communities. It emerged as a response to concern about mass tourism negative effects on the environment and residents. Key principles include environmental protection, education, local involvement, and cultural preservation. Ecotourism faces consumption challenges but seeks to balance tourism community well-being and heritage preservation. Collaboration, responsibility, and innovation drive a more sustainable, prosperous tourism industry. Eco-innovations play a crucial role in promoting sustainable tourism by adopting eco-friendly practices and developing innovative solutions. Companies can reduce their environmental impact while benefiting economically. Eco-innovations such as sustainable inks and chemical leasing models offer business advantages, attract environmentally conscious customers, and open up new markets. They contribute to a more sustainable and responsible tourism industry. Opportunities for eco-innovation in tourism include the creation of new products, processes, systems, and services, procedures that meet human needs while minimizing resource use and environmental impact. Eco-innovations can lead to improved productivity, profitability, and new opportunities for tourism businesses. Collaboration, knowledge transfer, and strategic monitoring are crucial for successful implementation in the tourism industry. The challenges and barriers to eco-innovation in tourism include insufficient commitment to environmental conservation, limited innovation opportunities, lack of understanding, financial constraints, regulatory complexities, and market dynamics. Overcoming these barriers requires a strategic approach, raising awareness, seeking alternative funding sources, and staying informed about regulations and market changes. Collaboration among stakeholders and policy support, such as removing barriers and implementing demand-oriented innovation policies, can create a favorable environment for eco-innovation in tourism. Several critical factors influence the environmental sustainability of innovation. These include market knowledge, legal and legislative frameworks, consumer expectations, and research and development investments. Understanding societal and government expectations, investing in research, and adopting new technologies are crucial for developing environmental friendly products and practices. Examples of successful eco-friendly tourism destinations include Sonova Fushi Resort, Bhutan, Seychelles, and the Maldives. Sonova Fushi Resort has achieved sustainability achievements such as reforestation efforts and carbon reduction. The government of Bhutan has implemented strict policies to control tourism, and its negative consequences include limiting the number of tourists and requiring visas. The Maldives has set capacity standards for resort islands and implemented measures to protect the environment, such as controlling marine ecology and banning certain activities. Seychelles has taken restrictive measures to encourage ecotourism, including designation national parks, limiting the number of beds, promoting sustainable transportation options. These examples demonstrate the importance of careful planning, cultural preservation, and collaboration between stakeholders in promoting eco-friendly tourism. In conclusion, the embracing eco-friendly practices, adopting innovative solutions, and considering the well-being of all stakeholders are paramount in contributing to eco-friendly tourism. The journey towards a more sustainable and responsible tourism industry is not without its challenges, but the reward in terms of environmental preservation, economic growth, and societal well-being make it a journey worth pursuing. Collaboration, responsible practices, and eco-innovations are key to shaping a sustainable future for the tourism industry. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Questions? Okay. Thank you. Second student, I don't know if he is arrived. Is Shah Syed Zain ul Abdian? No. Okay. Then the next one is Suresh Dan Philip. Okay. Presents a thesis with my supervision, the impact of technological advancement on the environment and its role to reach sustainability.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Dan, I'm presenting you with my thesis on the topic, the impact of technological advancement on the environment and its role to reach sustainability. My research primarily seeks to investigate the relationship between technological advancement and the environmental consideration to both what will happen in the past and the potentially what technology to reach a sustainable environment. So my thesis is structured into 3 main chapters. And on the first chapter, I focus on the technological advancement and its impact on the environment. And on my second chapter, I focus on the technological advancement and the sustainability. And on the third chapter, I showed the evolution of cars and the paradox effect of electric cars. Our journey begins by considering what technological advancement entails and its historical trajectory through various industrial revolutions. This chapter delves deep into the multi-factor ways technology has impacted our environment. Before we take about this point, first we should explain how the technology have evolved and factors which ignite this change. In the span of few centuries, the Industrial Revolution transformed our world from agrarian society to the industrial powerhouse. Steam engine, textile manufacturing, innovation, metallurgy, it's a big shift. But the process comes with a big cost. Vast forests fell, cities choked on smogs, rivers burst with unchecked waste. Today, we stand at the cusp of another technological era, which leads to the waste resources depletion, higher level of e-waste, energy consumption, increase in the carbon emission, impacting the biodiversity. Taking in the concept of energy consumption, as technology advances, our planet bears the burden. Raising energy needs, boost carbon emission, fueling climate change, massive mine disruption habitat, which also manufacturing strains of our water and introducing pollution. The rapid technological turnover fills our landscape with e-waste, and our unstable hunger for resources risk this depletion. Then the second chapter, technological advancement and sustainable development walks hand in hand, while sustainable development aims to catch today's need without jeopardizing the future. Technology provides the tools to achieve this. From innovation like water waste treatment, clean water access, to green technology that prioritize the environment. And the role of technology is pivotal. Sustainable development varies greatly based on a country's development level. Developed nations already conform with modern luxury, often grim with overconsumption and aim to innovation and reduce waste. Developing countries, meanwhile, are leaping for outdated technology, focusing on immediate challenge like clean water, basic health. Yet underdeveloped nations, rich in potential, frequently face survival issue that overshade sustainability. So the heart of this matter is equity among different countries based on the development. Not every nation has the equal access to sustainable development, despite and forecasting a more equitable global framework technology. Technological advancement has given rise to two significant concepts: sustainable technology and green technology, focusing on the long-term solution like green energy efficiency appliances and the waste management, ensuring we met our needs without jeopardizing the future generation. On the other hand, green technology focus on the zero emission on the environment, emphasizing clean energy, pollution control, and eco-friendly matters. And next, the evolution of cars and the paradox effect. The automobile journey from horse-drawn carriage to the gasoline-powered vehicle transform we are right now. But this consequence came to environmental cause. Pollution and greenhouse emission enter the electric car, promising clean urban air and fewer emission. Yet there are paradoxes. While electric car emits zero tailpipe pollution, the production of the battery can be harmful for the environment. Moreover, if the electricity charging isn't from a clean source, we're merely shifting to the problem. So as we embrace the electric vehicle, we must address the challenge to truly reserve the sustainable transportation towards. And as for the conclusion, technologies dance with the environment is an instinct. Our past shows that unchecked technology growth has environmental consequence. However, the future is hopeful. With the right intention and innovation, technology can be our ally in crafting sustainable future. Still, we have to push boundaries. We must remember that not everyone has the equal access to that development. This disparity in the technological access across different development stage of countries is a crucial piece of puzzle, emphasizing the needs of equitable growth. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? No? One question? Now, I have to present the thesis, Thomas Austin. I supervised this thesis as well on natural disasters. I'd like you show your thesis and present it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Austin Thomas. I am doing a bachelor's in economics and business management. I am in the supervision of Domenico Vincenzo, professor. So my thesis is about what is natural disasters. Natural disasters are like earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, and overall communities, which cause widespread damage in the last decade. It has impacted more than 2.6 billion people. So in the next slide, I'm talking about peril classification system, which also divided into 3 states. One is family, second is main event, and the third one is peril. In that, family is divided into geophysical, hydrological, meteorological, climatological, and biological, and extraterrestrial. And next, we talk about the positive and negative effects of natural disasters. First of all, I am talking about negative effects, which reduces the long-term growth and harms the agriculture and fishery and other sources. Then it also reduces the physical capital, which can be destroyed by natural disasters. And also the natural resource pool can be impacted by natural disaster. Droughts and hurricanes can wash away the topsoil and reduce soil fertility and reduce the agricultural yields. Then I'm talking about the positive effects in negative condition. Productive effect is the first effect, which causes destruction and quick turnover of the fund, which have a favorable uptake of new technology. Study conducted by Albala Bertat concluded that according to them, the GDP rises according to a disaster. Some experts say that natural disasters have an beneficial effect in the environment, and ash left over by the volcanic eruption can enhance the soil. Then I am talking about the main important topic, which is Kerala flood, which is also called as the disaster of the century. The Kerala flood is occurred in 2018, and which is also considered as the disaster of century. Unprecedented rainfall and flooding, which affected millions of massive destruction and significant life loss and property. Then I'm showing the 2 background before and after of flood. The first figure shows the main condition before flood, and after flood is the other slide. And what were the biggest problems during the flood? All the dams reached maximum potential. As a result, all the dams were opened. Around 1,259 out of 1,664 villages has been impacted by the flood. Flood has a significant impact on the agriculture. Homes were suffered and significant damage were made for a lot of homeless individuals were there according to Kerala floods. What were the physical aids provided to during the Kerala floods? The state received essential aid and supplies from the central government. The largest mission was the rescue mission, which took over nearly 500 boats and 14 helicopters and 13 planes and 182 rescue teams and 18 military medical teams. And Indian government provided Caritas and clean water, shelter, and aid for numerous people. Around 669 fishing boats and 4,537 fishermen took in the rescue mission. Many houses were rebuilt by various NGOs. And next I talk about the coastal warriors, which is also called as fishermen. During 2018, the Kerala was flooded and almost 65,000 individuals were died during this flood. And the fisherman was helping in this rescue mission, and they were called as coastal warriors. Then the conclusion, the lessons we learned and way forward. be ready for the mega disasters, figure out how to handle the water and review the land and use the plan to build back better, improve forecasting and efficient energy, prepare for vital infrastructure and be sure for improve the coordination and encourage support of NGOs and boost local capability, collecting money through the media outlets. Thank you everyone for listening me.
Thank you. Any question? Thank you. Is Shahsiat Zain ul Abdin arrived? No. Okay. No, il prossimo. No. Il prossimo studente è Bruno Spiridigliozzi. No, thank you. So, yes, you can wait. Yes, the next one. Okay. Presented a thesis with Francesco Colzi.
Allora, grazie Presidente. Allora, Bruno ha messo a frutto, diciamo, il suo soggiorno in Spagna per l'Erasmus, facendo una tesi, una ricerca interessante su un tema che peraltro è di attualità oggi, cioè l'esposizione universale. Si parla adesso, no, di un'assegnazione a Roma, se la batte, diciamo, con l'Arabia Saudita nel 2030, e diciamo, l'oggetto di studio di Bruno è stata l'esposizione universale di Siviglia, importante nel 1992, e gli effetti economici che questo evento ha avuto per l'economia regionale. Allora Bruno, se ci dai un po' in sintesi il frutto della tua...
Buongiorno a tutti, grazie mille professore. Ho articolato il mio lavoro su 4 punti fondamentali: un esame cronologico delle esposizioni universali più significative che si sono verificate a partire dal XVIII secolo, la valutazione del perché è stata scelta Siviglia come sede dell'esposizione universale del 1992, lo studio dei cambiamenti economici di tendenza verificatesi già dal 1900 sino alla fine del secolo, e gli impatti che la mostra universale di Siviglia ha avuto in termini sull'occupazione e sulle infrastrutture di comunicazione. Tra le esposizioni universali analizzate, Londra del 1851, la prima esposizione universale mai esistita, con oltre 6 milioni di visitatori, seguita da Parigi del 1855, che decise anche di superarla in termini di partecipanti e di dimensioni. Inoltre l'esposizione iberoamericana del 1929, che però non ebbe gli effetti sperati, poiché portò solamente un aumento del debito pubblico all'interno sia della città che della regione. Un'analisi specifica anche per Bruxelles del 1958, che è stata la prima esposizione dopo le 2 grandi guerre mondiali, che è stata scelta proprio per la sua posizione strategica in termini di internazionalità. Osaka del 1970, che fu l'esposizione universale che aprì al commercio internazionale con l'Est, e Milano, che pose come centro, diciamo, di attenzione i temi riguardanti la produzione alimentare e la scarsità di risorse. Per quanto riguarda la designazione di Siviglia come sede dell'esposizione universale, ci sono stati vari fattori di scelta, tra cui la posizione strategica facilmente raggiungibile da tutte le altre regioni e nazioni a livello internazionale. Il problema anche perché avevano come obiettivo di diminuire le grandi discrepanze a livello economico e sociali che vi erano tra il nord e il sud della Spagna, e per il suo patrimonio culturale e storico che era invidiabile a tutto il mondo. Inoltre gli obiettivi erano proprio quelli di diffondere e promuovere la nuova immagine dell'intera nazione e sostenere il progresso verso le comunità iberoamericana, considerando che negli stessi anni si accingevano ai preparativi anche per il 5° centenario della scoperta dell'America. Inoltre, per quanto riguarda il cambiamento di tendenza, analizzato sotto i vari settori produttivi, agricoltura, in questo caso costruzione e servizi, possiamo vedere come c'è stato un repentino calo all'interno del settore agricolo, passando ad una terziarizzazione dell'intera regione. E in questo caso i preparativi, che sono iniziati già sin dal 1980, vediamo che la contribuzione economica regionale al totale nazionale è andata in continuo aumento, sino a toccare picchi nel 1991 del 12,69% in termini di contribuzione economica. Questi dati sono confermati anche dall'evoluzione del numero di occupazione e di disoccupazione all'interno della regione. Vediamo che nel settore primario c'è stata una diminuzione sostanziale dell'occupazione conseguente a livello del settore primario, conseguente con un aumento della disoccupazione, mentre l'occupazione nel settore dei servizi è stata in continuo aumento, anche se nel 1995 un parziale aumento anche del livello di disoccupazione è dato dal problema della conclusione dell'esposizione universale. Per quanto riguarda le infrastrutture vincolate all'Expo, proprio costruite all'interno dell'area della Cartuca, lungo il margine destro del fiume Guadalquivir, ritroviamo degli investimenti superiori ai 100 milioni di pesetas, suddivisi in infrastrutture, spazi urbani, padiglioni di partecipanti che erano a carico della società statale e anche a carico dei singoli partecipanti. Inoltre, sempre per quanto riguarda le infrastrutture di comunicazione ubicate a Siviglia nell'intera regione in termini collegati strettamente all'esposizione universale, sono stati suddivisi in rete stradale, rete ferroviaria, rete aviaria e portuaria. Ritroviamo appunto la creazione di centinaia di chilometri ex novo in termini di rete viaria, come l'autostrada dell'Andalusia, l'autostrada Malaga-Anquera e tutta la circonvallazione che circonda l'intera città di Siviglia. Per quanto riguarda anche la rete ferroviaria, con l'implementazione dei treni ad alta velocità e la miglioria riguardo la stazione di Santa Justa, che permetteva l'entrata e l'uscita facilitandola sia di merci che di persone. Ed inoltre, per quanto riguarda la rete aviaria e portuaria, con una modernizzazione di oltre 30.000 metri quadrati dell'aeroporto di Siviglia, nonché anche quello di Malaga-Anquera e miglioramenti anche in ambito di strutture portuali per eventuali inondazioni. Tali effetti dell'esposizione universale, il livello di occupazione, suddivisi appunto in province all'interno dell'intera regione, vediamo come c'è stato un profondo aumento nel 1985 sino al 1990-91 e all'interno dell'intera regione si sono toccati dei picchi di incremento del 23,93%. A livello di disoccupazione invece ricordiamo e possiamo vedere dal grafico come nel 1991-95 ci sia stato un incremento notevole in tutte quante le province analizzate a livello di disoccupazione, proprio perché nonostante il grandissimo patrimonio culturale e storico che l'esposizione ha lasciato all'intera regione ma all'intera nazione, la sua bellezza e la sua grandezza, ha portato anche dei problemi di disoccupazione strutturale importanti causati proprio appunto dalla chiusura dei cancelli espositivi e quindi la chiusura di moltissimi lavori di carattere temporaneo. Grazie mille per l'attenzione.
Grazie, ci sono domande? No, grazie.
Grazie.
Shazia Zainullah Abdian can present. This is with me as supervisor on the impact of, application of phytoremediation technique in degradation of heavy metal.
First of all, I'm very thanks to Almighty Allah who gave me this chance to stand here. And second of all, I'm really thankful to Professor Domenico who gave me this chance because this topic is really close to my heart. I've been thinking all the time, how can I do something for this environment? And somehow I came up this idea, and especially, I think it's nothing I can contribute in this environment, but still, it's the least I can do. So my topic is phytoremediation. That means like how we can extract all the metals from the environment, especially by using the plants. So it includes like a lot of metals like copper, iron, that's all stuff. So I'm gonna move to this. So we will have an overview about this, and first of all, if we talk about extract or phytoremediation is an eco-friendly, cost-effective method for reducing heavy metal pollution from human activities. As we know that there are a lot of techniques that we can reduce heavy metals and some other things from our other environment, but it's not that easy. It's very costly. It needs a lot of equipments and machinery and a lot of human resource, so it's really hard. And that's why we are using plants that are specified for extracting all the metals from the environment. And secondly, specific plant species are crucial for the success of phytoremediation. as I said, there are very few, and we have learned that there are few plants that can help them extract all the matter from the environment. It's not that you can just outside and you can use any plant to extract any matter. There are very few plants that we have studied, and they are proven by the studies that they have helped us with extracting all the matter. And the use of macrophytes, biochemical factors, and the genetic engineering in senses the process. And with that, we are also using some chemicals and some other techniques, but they're not, as I said, that other procedures are very costly. So this, as compared to this, it is normal, it's costly. Phytoremediation harnesses solar energy to remove and collect metals. So phytoremediation, as there are two benefits of phytoremediation. Like, as first of all, we are using plants to remove the metal, and as well they are producing oxygen. So it's, I think, dual very beneficial for our society. And I think nowadays very few people know about phytoremediation, and no one can think that plants can help, you know, for removing pollution as well as metals. So this approach is sustainable, repeatable, and compatible in various contexts. So this is not, you know, it is not a one-time use. We can use it one by one. We can use it again and again. So because this one specific plant or any specific plants we get, it will long last, you know, at least it depends on their life, 5 years, 10 years. So it's, I think, very valuable. Genetic engineering significantly improves plant tolerance and pollutant accumulation. And as well as we have approved of techniques, let's suppose there are very techniques in this field that we are using to enhance the results by using any specific plant. Let's suppose that we have any specific plant and that was natural and that was not engineered by specific people. So that was producing, like, let's suppose 80% result. But as we have helped in our laboratories and the scientists grew to relation with plants, and we improved our result from, like, maybe we cannot say like 100%, like maybe we have increased to 10% or 15%. So that's really achievement we have achieved in this country and this world. Some plant species can aid in breaking down various organic compounds. So as we know that there are very, very large quantity of plants that remove matter as well as they break down compounds. Let me explain a little bit. Let's suppose there are very complex compound in our nature that is not like metal, and there are like copper oxide and iron dioxide, and they will break down the compounds. So it's really easy to absorb for the plants. And understanding complex interactions in the soil can improve pollution and induction and cleanup. And for this purpose, we have to understand like how any compound works, how are the solutions, how are the materials, how many function is performing. So that's why if you know, and we can also improve our techniques at another level, it would be, I think, more beneficial, like if we improve our laboratories and all the stuff. Heavy metal contamination.
Can you arrive to the conclusion, please?
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
It's very good. It's getting late.
So as you know that, if we talk about like recent research, phytoremediation has focused on fine related plant species such as selenium, niobium that can efficiently remove heavy metals like lead, cadmium. Contaminated soil is crucial for improving effectiveness phytoremediation, as seen in the Farouk at 2020. And secondly, advances in genetic engineering had enabled development of microplant contamination systems, enhancing the efficiency of phytoremediation. These technologies have the potential to clean up large contaminated areas, including mining sites, and contribute to soil remediation while safeguarding biofuel cooperation. There are also limitations.
Like to be
just 1 minute.
Synthetic. Okay.
Sorry. We also know that this is very beneficial for society, but there are limitations of phytoremediation. To everything, there's a limitation. It's not like we're going to achieve 100% anything. There are limitations in everything. the psychological limitations in plans used for remuneration, and for I will be moving secondly, and the methodology conclusion. And remuneration is a cost-effective method for heavy metal pollution cleanup, identifying a hyper-accumulated plant species, and crucial for successful remediation. Genetic engineering can enhance efficiency, solve health improvement through creating chemicals and microorganisms in essential. Combining genetic engineering, microbe-assisted and genetic-assisted technologies is necessary for effective remediation. Biomagnification of heavy metals poses several health risks in requiring immediate action. Remediation is an eco-friendly approach but has limitations. Combining chemical, biological, genetic engineering tools that can enhance heavy metal removal efficiency. Policy is supposed is crucial for efficiency, decontamination, and site-specific remediation techniques.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Professor Domenico.
Next time, you should arrive sooner. Okay. Next one is Ali Mariam Mohammed. The thesis is presented by Professor Castelli.
Okay, so Ali worked with Professor Parisi, who was not here, and asked me to present the candidate thesis. So the work is on reforms of direct taxes in Ethiopia. So I would kindly ask the candidate to briefly explain the job and the value added. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Miriam Mohammed, and today I'm going to present you the relationship between indirect tax and economic growth.
Closer to the
Okay. As an introduction, since indirect tax is used to make people pay the full social cost, there is no denying in its relation to the economic growth of one's country. Tax policy have the power to impact economic growth by directing after-tax returns toward the specific economic activities, by influencing the four determinants of economic growth, which are labor supply, capital investment, technical advancement, and human capital. Indirect taxes are imposed on price of taxable supplies of goods and services. Since the seller can transfer the tax to the customers, the final tax burden falls on the customers of goods and services. Economic growth is the increase in country's productivity capacity as it's measured by comparing the gross national product in a year with the gross national product in the previous year. There are various types of indirect taxes, but the main types of indirect taxes in Ethiopia are VAT, value-added tax, custom duties, excise tax, and turnover taxes. VAT is the consumption tax that is charged on a supply of taxable goods or services made in Ethiopia and importation of taxable goods and services into Ethiopia. Custom duties are taxes payable on a goods entering or leaving the country by a person or entities that have no duty-free privileges. Excise tax is chargeable on excisable goods manufactured in Ethiopia by a licensed manufacturer. Excisable goods imported in Ethiopia and excisable services supplied in Ethiopia by a licensed person. Turnover tax is imposed on goods and or services rendered in the country by those who are not required to register for VAT, but who supply goods and services in the country. The aim and objective of this study is to determine how Ethiopia economic growth and value-added taxes are related, examining the connection between Ethiopia economic growth and custom duties, to ascertain the link between Ethiopia excise taxes and economic growth, and assess the association between Ethiopia turnover tax and economic growth. For this research, I used two methodologies. The first one is qualitative research design. I use qualitative research design to create a fresh framework and overview point of the subject by synthesizing relevant literature in integrated manner. And the second one is I use integrative review. Integrated review is a specific review method that summarizes past empirical or theoretical literatures to provide a great comprehensive understanding of a particular phenomena. the research questions for this thesis is the connections, how it affects, and the existing connection between all the indirect taxes in Ethiopia. And the demonstrated results are: the first, what contribute economic growth for Ethiopia, budgetary stabilities, providing consistent funding for public services, infrastructure improvement, and development projects. And what also improve Ethiopia economic competitiveness and diversification, particularly in the export industry. Total taxable resources have a positive and significant correlation with GDP, gross domestic product, for the economic growth of Ethiopia, with essential, insured and careful planning and monitoring turnover tax, positively contribute to the economic growth of Ethiopia. If tariffs in Ethiopia are used strategically, structured and implemented to key industries and generate revenue for public investment, custom duties are contributed positively to the economic growth. And what has a great contribution to the total tax revenue and enhance Ethiopia economy. And in conclusion, indirect tax, particularly value-added tax and custom duties in Ethiopia's total tax revenue landscape, underscore their critical role as a primary source of government income. The revenue derived from indirect taxes provide the government with the means to strategically allocate funds to sectors that drives economic growth. Since consumption has been found to be determinant habit and personal interest than prices, indirect tax can be fully taken for the purpose of allocating and distribution of resources. Ethiopia's economic growth is positively impacted by indirect taxes as a source of revenue.
Okay.
And as recommendation, Ethiopia revenue and custom duty authorities shall tightly regulate the arrival of goods via airports and borders to reduce revenue linkage and lessen the impact of customs and excise duties on the economy. Ethiopia needs careful consideration and adjustment of tax policies to assure stability and effectiveness while promoting economic growth. Ethiopia revenue and custom authorities should increase the taxpayers' awareness by giving training to the taxpayers in order to comply with the tax policies. To achieve an optimal policy trust, there must be a commitment and honesty on the part of the agent of indirect tax revenue and total tax revenues with respect to the collection and the payment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next student to present his thesis is Mengistu Yabsira Ayalev with Professoressa Castelli.
Yes, again, a student who's been advised by Professor Parisi. The title of the work is Reform of Direct Taxes in Ethiopia. Yes. So please present your work to the committee. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to present this presentation. Thank you, my Professor Valentino Parisi and Professor Marcello as well, and the beloved professors. Today I'll be presenting about reforms of direct taxes in Ethiopia. And the direct tax system in Ethiopia plays a vital role in generating government revenue and supporting the country's economic development. As you can see on the graph, of Ministry of Finance suggestion, there is 9.2% of ratio to tax revenue to GDP, which means taxes have a lot of portion in the GDP. Challenges and limitations of the current system. According to the Ministry of Finance, one major challenge is the prevalence of tax evasion and tax avoidance practices. These practices undermine the integrity of the tax system and result in significant revenue loss for the government. Another limitation is the inefficiency and capacity constraints within the tax administration. The other one is the complexity of the current tax laws regulations poses a significant challenge for taxpayers. This complexity increases the compliance burden and can lead to unintentional non-compliance or inadvertent errors in tax reporting. The reforms of direct taxes in Ethiopia have aimed enhance the efficiency, equity, effectiveness of the tax system. One significant aspect of the reforms has been the adjustment of tax rates and income brackets to establish a fair and progressive taxation structure. As you all know, Ethiopia uses a progressive taxation structure. So, proposed reforms for direct taxation in Ethiopia are aimed at addressing the challenges and limitations of the current tax system, improving revenue generation, and promoting fair and efficient tax administration. Simplification of tax laws procedures is a critical aspect of direct tax reform. As we can see from the National Bank of Ethiopia source, the percent of 43.2% of the total tax revenue is held by direct taxes. It's about 43.2% in 2018-19 season. So it have a huge effect on the economies and everything. So direct tax reforms in Ethiopia can have a transformative impact on the economy, government revenue, investment climate, and overall welfare of the individual and business. This also contributes to social cohesion, helps to alleviate poverty by providing the government with the necessary resources to implement targeted social programs and initiatives. Now we are going to see the impact of the recent tax reform in Ethiopia, which is held in 2016-17, and on economic growth, as well as on factor market, which includes capital and labor. On economic growth, according to the EPRDF government, strategic implementation of simplified tax laws, along with the efforts of broaden tax base and ensure compliance, has effectively cultivated a favorable environment for sustained economic growth. And reform has played a pivotal role in enticing both domestic and foreign investors. The comprehensive tax reform has facilitated the formalization of the economy by extending the tax net to encompass previously untaxed sectors, which means broadening the tax base, and individuals, thereby diminishing the size of the informal economy. Simultaneously, the reduction of corporate tax has afforded business with the more substantial investment opportunities, encouraging expansion and fostering an environment ripe for innovation. On factor markets, tax reform stimulated a labor market by lowering tax rates and incentivizing formal employment, leading to increased participation, better jobs, and higher wages as well. Tax reforms in Ethiopia spurred the capital market by introducing targeted incentives for domestic and foreign investments, resulting in increasing capital inflows and investments in key sectors, infrastructure, technology, thereby boosting productivity. Tax reform has had an indirect impact on the factor market by promoting investment in human capital as well. As a conclusion, in this dissertation thesis, in order to achieve a plan of Ethiopian Revenue Customs Authority, ERCA, and to benefit the poor, the government of Ethiopia must increase the tax revenue by broadening the tax base. In order to generate high domestic revenue and become independent from foreign dependency, the government of Ethiopia should increase the tax revenue as much as it benefits the majority of the poor, stimulate the economic growth. The governments must be careful to design the tax reforms in a way that take proper account for distributional impact, particularly their impact on the poor. Finally, Ethiopian government should implement modern technologies in order to control rigged bids, because of this is the major problem, as I mentioned before. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. The next candidate is Raza Ahmed. Also, this candidate presents a thesis with Professoressa Castelli.
Okay, again, the advisor is Professor Parisi. I will introduce the candidate who's going to present his work on privatization of public enterprises and its effects in Pakistan. So please present your work to the
hello
committee.
and good morning,
Thank
everyone. My honorable committee and my fellows, thank you for coming here today on my special occasion. My name is Ahmed Raza, and today I'm going to present my thesis on my topic, privatization of public enterprises and its effects in Pakistan. I will start from my introduction. For your basic understanding, I will start with definition of privatization. What is actually the privatization is? Privatization is like when we sell, government of Pakistan will sell its assets and its services to the private sector for the betterment of people or for betterment of their services. National monopoly. Natural monopoly is actually, it is when there is only one industry, when there is only one industry, they only produce its product. I will start with privatization in Pakistan. Pakistan has established its privatization commission in 1991. I have collected this data from research-produced data from various sources, including government reports, economic surveys, financial database, and academic publications. I have mainly focused on the privatization period between 1990 and from 1990 to 2023. Here are some papers that I have reviewed and used in my thesis. Case study on Pakistan. Pakistan currently has 24 designated special economic zones which are developed to improve the, increase the domestic and foreign investments. They have faced challenges related to location and infrastructures. Investors in these sectors are offered various incentives, including 10-year tax holidays, one-time waiver of import duties on plants, materials, and equipment, and streamlined utility connections. Pakistan initiated its privatization program in 1990 with the sale of 166 state-owned enterprises, primarily to reduce financial deficits and generate revenue. The privatization process in Pakistan has been influenced by political consideration, leading to non-transparent sale of state-owned assets. Let's focus on the result of privatization in Pakistan. Through privatization, government of Pakistan has generated the revenue of 476 billion rupees. The allocation of this revenue is also very important, so they have spent their 80% of this revenue on national government, 9.5% on restructures, 5% on companies, and 4.5% on privatization process expenses. Due to this privatization, before this privatization, we have more deficit because we are spending more money rather than we generate. After this post-privatization period, we have reduced this deficit and gap between the government expenses and revenues. Conclusion. Privatization has been employed to reduce financial deficits, and analyzed indicates a consistent decrease in these deficits in the post-privatization era. Tax income trends have shown fluctuations, with the direct tax income decreasing while indirect taxes have played a more significant role. However, government subsidies has been increased partially due to the negative consequences of some privatization effects, especially in sectors like power and utilities. Political influence has been a significant factor throughout the privatization process, sometimes leading to non-transparent practices and negative outcomes. I have read some recommendations. To reduce issues related to political influence and transparent practices, it is important to establish clear and transparent privatization process and reporting mechanism. Effective regulatory and oversight bodies should be in place to ensure that we make sure privatization money is used well and subsidies are handled wisely. Privatize sectors for privatization, carefully considering their long-term economic viability and potential impact on government finances. Raise public awareness about the objectives and outcome of privatization to become public through trust and support. Review and strengthen the legal framework of governing privatization to ensure its alliance between international practices. There are references that I have used in my thesis. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now come here to discuss, to present his thesis, Talpur Mir Shahzad with Professor Tedeschi.
Talpur, still supervised by Valentino Parisi, will present us the corporate tax system in Pakistan and its reforms. Okay, please get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much, respected professor. And I would like to take just 1 minute. It's been 4 years to be here, so I will just take 1 minute to thank everyone. I will firstly thank to Almighty. He gave me beautiful life and the beautiful opportunity to stand in front of a quality professor and to graduate one of the top university of economics in Italy. And special thanks to my mom, of course, and my family, my friends who are here. And I will start my thesis. A special thanks to Professor Valentino Parsi, who is my supervisor. He's not here. And yeah, my thesis in the corporate tax system in Pakistan and its reforms. So the corporate tax system in Pakistan and its aspects. Pakistan corporate tax structure has evolved over the past few decades to encourage domestic and international investments. The corporate tax system in Pakistan has experienced momentous reforms in recent years to encourage foreign investment and boost business growth. Just a moment. So if we see this table, the corporate tax rates in Pakistan, given authority, preserve the relatively stable tax system within a constant rate of 29% from 2020 to 2023. However, there was a slight increase in the tax rate to 31% in 2018, representing a potential shift in the economic situation. Tax evasion and challenges in Pakistan. Since 1947, tax evasion has been prevalent with the Pakistani tax system. After 1991, Pakistan tax revenue as a proportion of the country's GDP decreased consistently, and the current issue is Pakistan public finances, whether or not the country's government revenue comprised of income tax, sales tax, property tax, administration fees is sufficient to cover its fiscal expenditures. If you see the impact of tax evasion in key Pakistani sectors, if you see the industries, real estate, cigarette, tea, tires and oil, and so on, I mean, you see the numbers, it's real estate is 500 billion rupees, 240 billion rupees for cigarettes, and so on. So this is the huge number and the huge loss for the Pakistani economic situation. The in-depth research conducted by international firm has revealed a shocking reality. Tax evasion is prevalent in Pakistan's core sectors, in estimated annual loss of rupees 956 billion in tax revenue. This disclosure highlights the critical need for strong measures to combat tax evasion and protect the national financial integrity. Just a moment. Okay, so some analysis on the economic situation currently. If you see on the graph, so 2022, there was a 6% growth on a GDP. But if you see 2023, it's slowed down by 0.6%. And the slowdown, the reason of slowdown was the heavy floods in Pakistan. And yeah, I mean, it's damaged all the sector of Pakistan, infrastructure, the farming sectors and everything. And also I belong from a farming family, so I know how there was a huge loss in the farming sector. So yeah, of course, I mean the the Asian backed development to plan a substantial slowdown in Pakistan. The economic growth, the GDP growth rate, which was at 6% in the last fiscal year, is now dropped to 0.6 in the current fiscal years. Several key factors have played the slowdown, as I said, the flood and all the damage to the country. And in 2024, it's expected to be 2% rise in the GDP. So now recent reforms in Pakistan, which made the reduction in the corporate tax rate from 35% to 29% in 2019 was a substantial move by the government of Pakistan. Recent reforms were completed to make Pakistan a more beautiful investment destination and inspire business to grow and expand. The discount in the corporate tax rate has an optimistic impact on the Pakistani economic situation. It has made Pakistan more competitive with other countries in the area and refreshed business to invest in Pakistan. Investing in the Pakistan has improved the economy activity, job design. The government of Pakistan reduced tax to make more investments in the country and make economy more sustainable. The Federal Board of Revenue, FBR, they are really working very great. It's the charge of tax collection department and administration nationwide. The board has played a crucial role in the growth and development of the countries ever since. FBR mission is to help taxpayers understand and comply with their tax duties, collect their tax incomes, behalf, and ensure that all tax laws are followed. Recommendation for the corporate tax system in Pakistan and its reforms. Enhancing tax enforcement in Pakistan, it's vital for increasing tax revenue and improving economic growth. This requires the trained staff, technology, resources, and aligning incentives for tax collectors. Implementing a value-added tax and optimizing urban tax collection can further boost revenue despite the prevailing economic challenges. Simplified tax systems and increased taxpayers' awareness are crucial. Effective stakeholders engagement and consistent communications are essential for the successful project implementation and the sustainable tax collection. Conclusion, Pakistani policymakers must take strategic actions to mitigate economic slowdown effects, including targeting social safety nets, stimulating investment, enhancing export, and addressing structural issues like energy, cost. Collaboration with international financial institutions and economic reforms are crucial for stabilizing the economy and promoting the sustainable growth. Accurate budget execution and adaptable mechanisms are vital to navigate uncertainty and ensure efficient resource allocation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next candidate is Tesgaye Absira Belete, who presents his thesis with Professor Tedeschi.
One more thesis on corporate taxation, and one more student with Valentino as a supervisor. And the title is The Effect of Corporate Taxes on FDI, the Case of Ethiopia.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to have this opportunity to present my dissertation thesis on the title of The Effect of Corporate Tax on Foreign Direct Investment in the Case of Ethiopia. Corporate taxes in Ethiopia are currently among the highest in the region with a rate of 30%. This is significantly higher than neighboring countries such as Kenya and Djibouti. However, Ethiopia has recently introduced tax incentives for business operating in certain sectors such as manufacturing and agriculture. In 2020, according to Ethiopian Revenue and Customs Authority, the country received $2.5 billion in FDI, a 12% increase from the previous year. This can be attributed to the country's large and growing market, abundant natural resources, and strategic location in East Africa. The general objective of this study is to see the impact of reducing more corporate tax rate and giving tax incentives, such as tax holiday and custom duties, for attracting more foreign direct investment. Corporate taxes and foreign direct investment have a complex relationship. High corporate taxes can deter foreign investors, while low corporate taxes can attract them. In fact, research of International Monetary Fund showed that 1% increase in corporate tax rate can lead to 3.7% decrease in FDI. This is because high corporate taxes reduce the profitability of investments, making them less attractive to foreign investors. While high corporate taxes can discourage investment, low taxes alone are not enough to attract investors. Other factors such as political stability, infrastructure, and labor market conditions also play a significant role. For example, according to Ethiopian Investment Agency, in the early 2000s, Ethiopia implemented a series of tax reforms aimed at attracting foreign investment. The country reduced its corporate tax from 35% to 30% and introduced tax holidays and other incentives for investors. When we see trends of FDI in Ethiopia, according to World Investment Report of 2022, FDI inflows in Ethiopia increased to $4.2 billion in 2021, up from $2.4 billion 1 year earlier, while the total stock of FDI stood at $31.6 billion, around 31.8% of the country's GDP. The Ethiopian birr is not freely convertible currency. Thus, foreign exchange shortage impaired companies' ability to report profit and obtain investment inputs. In order to improve the business climate, the government recently approved a new foreign investment laws and issued a new investment incentive regulations. Most foreign investment is directed towards the oil refining, mining, and real estate, manufacturing, and renewable energy sectors. China is one of the largest investors, accounting for 60% of new FDI projects approved with significant investment in manufacturing and service. The other main investing countries are Saudi Arabia, United States, India, and Turkey. As you can see from the graph, FDI inflows to Ethiopia in 2021, it was 4.26 billion, at 77.79% increase from 2020. When we see the sectoral distribution of FDI, one of the key sectors that have witnessed significant FDI inflows in Ethiopia is manufacturing. The government's focused industrialization and establishment of industrial parks have attracted foreign investors, particularly in sectors such as textile and garments, leather products, and agro-processing. When we see factors affecting foreign direct investment in Ethiopia, there are three main factors. The first one is political instability, the second one is government expenditure, and the third one is inflation. When we see the effectiveness of tax incentives in attracting FDI, tax incentives are often used by government to attract foreign direct investment and promote economic growth. One potential impact of reducing corporate tax rates could be an increase in investment and business activity. Lower corporate taxes may incentivize both domestic and foreign companies to invest in Ethiopia, leading to higher capital formation, job creation, and economic expansion. This could be particularly beneficial in attracting a foreign direct investment, as a lower tax burden can make the country more attractive to multinational corporations. Here are some key tax incentives in Ethiopia. The first one is income tax holiday. The government provides income tax holiday to qualifying investors in priority sectors and regions. The second one is customs duty exemption. Import duties and taxes on machinery, equipment, and raw materials used for manufacturing and agro-processing purpose can be exempted or reduced. The third one is regional tax incentives. The government provides additional tax incentives such as reduced corporate tax rates and custom duties, exemptions for investment in specific regions or industrial parks. As a conclusion, while the country has made a great stride in attracting investment in recent years, there is still room for improvement. To maximize FDI inflows, policymakers should consider reducing corporate tax rates, particularly for high-growth sectors like technology and renewable energy. Additionally, improving the overall business environment by streamlining regulations and increasing transparency can help make Ethiopia a more attractive destination for the foreign investors. In a view of promoting FDI into the country, the government should formulate and implement effective investment promotion policies. The government should create a healthy and enabling business environment that encourages both foreign and local investors. The government also should focus on macroeconomic policy environments that strengthen the economy and builds a confidence of potential investors. The last one is the coefficient of the infrastructure variable, like electricity consumed per GDP, highlights in the need of big investment in infrastructure development, which is essential for the environment. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Last students of the Professor Parisi, presented by Professor Tedesco, Zereke, Kirubel, Shu, Arega.
Okay. Can I present another topic in public economics? The distributive effects of welfare programs in Africa. Please.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to say thank you for your time, and I'm honored to present for both of you. My name is Kirwil Gazalaka, and I'm from Department of Business and Economics. And the title of my thesis is The Distributive Effects of Welfare Program in Africa. Let's start with the definition of welfare programs. The term welfare programs refers to...
Can you put up your monitor?
Okay. The term welfare program refers to a range of government-funded initiatives that aid in support individuals and families experiencing poverty or other socioeconomic challenges. Welfare programs are typically funded by taxpayers and allow people to cope with financial stress during a rough period of their lives. Research by UNICEF in 2012 has shown that these programs have a positive distributive effect by increasing the income and the consumption of poor households, improving health outcomes, supporting children education, and reducing poverty rates. What's poverty and multidimensional poverty index? Poverty is a state of deprivation characterized by the absence or insufficient access to the basic necessities and resources required for a decent standard of living. It encompasses a lack of adequate income, shelter, food, clean water, health care, education, and other essential for human well-being. The Global Multidimensional Index, developed in 2010 by Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiatives, measure acute multidimensional poverty across more than 100 developing countries by measuring each person overlapping deprivation across 10 indicators in 3 equally weighted dimensions, which are health, education, and standard of living. Poverty has profound and far-reaching effects on individuals, communities, and entire nations. In both Ethiopia and Kenya, poverty has a range of negative impacts that affect various aspects of life. Analysis of poverty in Ethiopia. Poverty in Ethiopia is a complex issue rooted in historical challenges, economic constraints, regional disparities, and social inequalities. Factors such as reliance on agriculture, limited access to education and health care, political instability, and environmental vulnerabilities contribute to the prevalence of poverty. The trend of poverty and income inequality between 1996 and 2016 time period from a national representative panel survey in 2020, there is a decrease in poverty across the board, with the head count index falling from 33.2% to 14.8%. Measuring multidimensional poverty in Kenya. The multiple overlapping deprivation analysis method developed by UNICEF in 2012 is used in this study to quantify multidimensional poverty among 4 different Kenyan demographic groups, which are children, youths, adults, and elders. The analysis involved 4 key components. The first one is deprivation distribution, which counts the number of deprivation experienced by each individual in a group. The second one is multidimensional poverty indices, which measures poverty using multiple factors. The third one is decomposition of multidimensional poverty by different dimensions, allowing for a deeper understanding of specific areas of deprivation. And the last one is decomposition of the multidimensional poverty index by counties, providing insightful into regional disparities and in poverty. The impact of welfare programs on poverty reduction. These welfare programs aimed at helping to reduce the social costs of an economic crisis and protect the poor during implementation of structural adjustment programs. These programs have contributed to significant progress in Ethiopia's development goals. The percentage of people living under the poverty line has decreased from 45.5% in 1996 to 29.6% in 2010. The National Safety Net Program in Kenya expanded the coverage of cash transfer from 299,000 to 1.2 million households, benefiting an estimated 5 million people from vulnerable households. In conclusion, Ethiopia's strategic initiatives, including the Productive Safety Net Program, the Sustainable Development and Poverty Reduction Program, and the Plan for Accelerated and Sustainable Development to End Poverty, have played a pivotal role in addressing the nation's long-standing challenge of food insecurity, poverty, and susceptibility to drought. This program have demonstrated substantial progress in Ethiopia's development goals, with a remarkable reduction in the percentage of people living below the poverty line and notable improvements in education enrollment ratios. The National Safety Net Program in Kenya has significantly improved household welfare, reduced poverty, and encouraged social and economic inclusion. Its achievements serves as a reminder of the significance of carefully planned and appropriately supported welfare programs in improving the lives of at-risk groups and creating a society that is more wealthy and equitable. Overall, welfare programs have demonstrated their potential to significantly reduce poverty by providing target assistance, promoting education and skill development, and fostering economic opportunities. By investing in the well-being and empowerment of individuals and communities, welfare programs continue to be powerful tools for creating a more equitable and poverty-free society. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And now we have 2 candidates of the master degree. Gotane Manas presented his thesis with Professor Castelli.
Yes, thank you. So Manas is presenting his thesis in competition policy. He worked to deepen competition dynamics in a specific sector, which is the firm's consultancy regarding the opportunity of studying abroad, with a focus on the United Kingdom. So please, Manas, try to explain the overall job, the overall work you've done, but being synthetic and going on the value added of your contribution, okay? Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. And today, the topic of my thesis is how competition affecting the abroad education consultancies in the UK.
Okay, so the research topic is how competition affecting the abroad education consultancy firms in the UK. Abroad education consultancy firms are specialized entities that offer expert guidance and assistance to students seeking exceptional opportunities abroad. These firms serve as intermediaries bridging the gap between students and educational institutions, ensuring informed decisions and smooth transition of the students. Quick spread of these businesses has increased competition, raising moral questions and resulting in variations in service quality. Primary objectives of the research topic: evaluate the elements causing more competition within the sector, investigate how competition affects the ways that consulting firms do business and the services they provide, investigate the strategies used by businesses to acquire a competitive edge, examine how branding and marketing helps consulting firms stand out from the crowd, look into how pricing tactics and financial results are affected by competition. Then we have the purpose of the research. The purpose is to illustrate how intense competition within the industry, intensified by events like COVID-19 and Brexit, influences the market structure and profitability through a focused exploration of potential strategies, including differentiation pricing, government policies, branding, partnerships, and technological innovations. The study aimed to provide actionable insights for consultancy firms to navigate and mitigate competitive challenges effectively. The aim of the research is to look into the effects of competition on UK-based consultancies for education in the UK and to examine the methods they use to deal with the challenges of the market. Research approach: employing an inductive method to examine the effects of competition on UK-based consultancies, focusing on the examination of patterns and connections in the education consultancy industry. Secondary data collection from academic publications and relevant databases, emphasizing the reliability, validity, and ethical considerations of data sources. Employing content analysis and quantitative data analysis to draw conclusions, addressing ethical issues related to data usage, privacy, and biases. Identifying potential risk associated with data collection and analysis. Literature review. So COVID-19 and Brexit are the key competitive factors influencing the education consultancy firms in UK. Consultancy companies offering additional services like individualized academic preparations, scholarships help, post-study job advice in order to sustain profitability. Consultancy companies setting specialized services, solid industry ties, cutting-edge technological solutions are potentially able to gain superior profit margins. Consultancy's ability to compete can be strengthened by showcasing a track record of successful placements, such students being accepted into prestigious colleges and winning scholarships. Some businesses use web-based sources and tools, aggressive marketing strategies, boasting wildly about their rates of success and connections to esteemed organizations. And these are the list of key articles and journals which help me out to know more about the subject topic. These are the crucial topics which I have extracted from the above journals and articles to draw answers for the research questions of the topic, including influences of service quality, impact of policies, effectiveness of marketing and branding, cluster theory, insourcing and outsourcing, digital transformation in SMEs, employer branding model. So then we have conclusion for the thesis. Growing demand among overseas students for higher education in the UK, intense competition in the UK's consultancy industry for international education, adapting to changes in UK's government migration and educational visa laws, utilizing technology and internet platforms to reach and interact with clients, the importance of building trust and goodwill in client decision-making, long-term viability in the sector depends on staying updated with global developments and being prepared for disruptions like COVID-19 pandemic. Expanding services offerings to serve a global demand, the need for flexibility, regulatory expertise, and innovation to overcome challenges. In the end, I would like to express gratitude to Professor Annalisa Castelli for believing in me. Special thanks to my family for their support and friends who are making this movement more special. Grazie mille a tutti.
Grazie. Questions? Any question? Okay. Grazie. The last candidate is Domenico Cavicchia, who presents a thesis with Professor Tedeschi as supervisor.
Okay. Domenico, in his work, applies macroeconometric techniques to identify the main socio-demographic factors that predict income inequality in Italy. And please, Domenico.
Thank you very much. So, as already anticipated by Professor Tedeschi, the goal of my analysis was basically to quantify the contribution to labor income and household income inequality, or at least explain the inequality, of a set of factors for the years 2008, 2012, and 2016. Now, before providing some information on the empirical methodology that I have applied, I would like to give you a quick overview on the decomposition techniques that have been used in the literature, starting with the analysis of the differences in means, which is basically an analysis of income variations. A second is the decomposition into between and within subgroup components, which is aimed at evaluating income inequality between different subgroups of the population, so for instance by gender, by race. A third very important decomposition technique is the factor component decomposition, which is intended to quantify the contribution of an income source on an inequality index. So for instance, you can evaluate or estimate the impact of labor income on the Gini index or on the Atkinson index. The last methodology, which is what I have applied in my dissertation, is the linear income model decomposition. Now, more specifically, I've used two different methodologies in order to compare the results. And the first one that I have applied is the so-called fields decomposition methodology. And it starts by estimating a linear regression model in which the dependent variable is the logarithm of income. And the logarithm of income is used because what you're basically doing is decomposing the variance of the logarithm of income, which is in economics an indicator or a measure of inequality levels. And then once you have estimated the model, you can estimate the so-called relative factor inequality weight, which is then put in proportion to the R-squared, and this gives you an approximate percentage contribution of the regressor. The second methodology is the Shapley value approach, very similar, at least for the first part of the analysis, in a sense that you again estimate a linear regression model in which the logarithm of income is the dependent variable. You can use arbitrary regressors. The most important thing is to make sure that the model fits the data as good as possible. Then once you have estimated the model, you get the predicted values, the fitted values, sorry, you calculate the variance, and then you start sequentially removing regressors from the model and estimate the variance in order to capture the effect of each regressor on the variance. This is basically the same, but put in formulas, so I will skip that. So the data that I have been using are coming from the Survey of Household Income and Wealth, published by the Bank of Italy, at least for the net variables. For the gross income variables, I used data sets provided by microsimulation model, provided by Professor Tedeschi, who was kind enough to put them at my disposal. So before presenting the contribution of or decomposition results, I need to specify the composition of the income sources that I've used, starting with the composition of net household income, which consisted of four main components, namely payroll income, pensions and net transfers, net self-employment income, and property income. For the decomposition results of net household income, you can see the yellow highlighted ones are those that were contributing the most to explain the inequality levels, starting with the number of household components with income, the rented property, which makes perfectly sense because in the net household income composition, imputed rents was included. So rented property was a variable that was capturing if households were living in a rented home or in a self-owned real estate. And the geographical area, as you would expect in Italy, with data suggesting that incomes in the northern part of Italy were higher compared to the southern part. For gross household income, the definition was slightly different, or that the composition was slightly different in the sense that it included wage income, income from self-employment and from pensions, as well as social transfers. And this will be reflected in terms of results, because here again we will have the number of household components with income as a main contributor to explain the inequality levels for both decomposition methodologies, the number of household components and the geographical area. However, rented property variable contributed less, also because property income was not in the definition of gross household income. For labor income in general, it consisted of two main variables, the income from individual payroll and income from self-employment, with individuals aged between 19 and 65, so as to exclude OAPs, and income from pensions. And here the results are quite similar for both methodologies, as well as for the different definitions, in the sense that net labor income and gross labor income approximately provide the same contributions of the various factors, starting with experience, followed by a dummy variable capturing the fact if an individual was the household's head earner. Type of contract, a very important contributor in Italy. This is basically this is indicating whether or not an individual was employed with a fixed term contract or a contract without expiry. Education, and lastly sector. For gross labor income, again, as already mentioned, the contributions are very similar in terms of percentage and in terms of importance. So here again, experience, type of contract, education. So as for the variables age for 2008-2012 and the size of the town in 2012, they are not included because they were not statistically significant in the original regression model. So to conclude, a couple of main points to take away. So in terms of household explained inequality levels, there are three main contributors for both gross and net household income. The number of household components, the number of household components with income, and geographical area. Notwithstanding, there is one major difference between the two, which is related to rented properties. This is because of the fact that, again, in the composition of gross household income, rented properties, or more specifically, property income was excluded. Whilst the results for gross and net labor income were very similar in terms of significance and in terms of decomposition. And last but not least, I need to mention that the regression techniques, the regression-based decomposition techniques that I've used are strongly dependent on the model fitting, so on the original regression model fitting. The better the data fits the model, the more you can capture in terms of explained inequality, the more you can decompose. And whatever is not captured simply remains unexplained inequality levels. So having said that, I would like to thank you for your attention and would like to open up for potential questions.
Thank you. Any question? No. Okay, thank you, Domenico. Now the committee meets to deliberate the marks. We'll be back in a few minutes, right here. Please. Va bene. Va bene. Okay. Please, candidates can display here. Just in. Yes, everybody here.
Okay, so everybody just come here, please, and just fit yourself so that we can have the nice part.
Please, everybody here. Okay, just in front of this table. Someone luck here. Manca quello che è arrivato in ritardo, ovviamente. Mamashev is here. Okay. Shasiad, just a moment. We're just checking if Shasiad is here. No, Shasiad. Oh, ho detto di non mandarsene. Ok. Suresh Dan Philip. Ok, è qua. Ok. Thomas Austin. Ok. Spiridigliozzi Bruno. Ci sei? Ali Meriam Mohammed. Okay, okay. You should be. Okay, Mamashev Ali, please come here. Commission approved your thesis. Then I declare you dottore in economics and business, economics and business, with mark of 87. Sorry. Shadsiad Zain ul Abdian. Okay. The committee approved your thesis, and I declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 89. Suresh Dan Philip. The committee approved your thesis, and I declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 90. La devi cancellare. You erased your sign. Thomas Austin, the committee approved your thesis, and I glad to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 88. Bruno Spiridigliozzi. La Commissione ha approvato il tuo esame di laurea, pertanto ti dichiaro dottore in economia e commercio con voti 110 su 110. Ali Meriam Mohammed. The committee approved your thesis, degree thesis, then I'm glad to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 86. Mengistu Yabsira Ayalev. The committee approved your thesis, and I'm glad to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 103. Raza Ahmed. committee approved your degree thesis, sorry, and I'm happy to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 93. Talpur Mir Shahzad, the commission approved your thesis degree. Then I'm going to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 85. Tsegaye Yabsira Belete, the commission approved your degree thesis. Then I'm glad to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 100. Zeleke Kirubel Shu Arega, the committee approved your degree thesis. Then I'm glad to declare you dottore in economia e commercio with a mark of 95. Gotane Manas, the committee approved your degree thesis. Then I'm glad to declare you dottore magistrale in global economy and business with a mark of 88. Sì. Domenico Cavicchia, Commission approved your degree thesis, and I'm very happy to declare you dottore magistrale in economia e commercio, global economy and business, l'ultimo qua, global economy and business, with a mark of 110, cum laude. I would like to give you best wishes for the future. Auguri a tutti I laureandi, anche alle famiglie, and also to your families. And I hope you enjoyed staying in this university, and I hope to see you also for the next steps of your academic careers. Okay, thank you so much.
Le ragazze hanno il vestito del colore della copertina della tesi. No, oggi no, queste qua sono di ieri. Sì, però la tesi non è così, queste sono quelle di ieri, ma ieri erano così, io le vedevo fuori quando sono uscita, vestiti il tagliere fucsia con la tesi fucsia, la camicia rosa con la tesi rosa. Ragazzi, ma di che cosa vogliamo parlare?
We cannot change them.
Stavo rubando il tuo telefono. Poi ho avuto il mio e ho detto
C'è lezione adesso?
la prima, è arrivata di tutto.
Ce li dovevamo fare. Dico ce li dovevamo fare.